What are you doing, bro?
All right, I gotta reply to this message real quick because I think it was pretty interesting. So, this user said, I don't hear any white people with smoke for Kaisin Allison or that the kid that shot up FSU. White people love to bully people and then act like victims when they get checked. Metcalf's dad was convicted of SA in the past, and I completely see where Austin got his behavior from. Next time, keep your hands to yourself. I'm about to donate some more money to Carmelo. Carmelo, that's his name. All right, so this comment is under a video that I've done last week about this situation. And then I was asking the question whether or not Karmelo Antony is the next like black cause or black hustle that it's he's gonna be the poster child of that, similar to how George Floyd was used for a way to, let's say, BLM made millions of dollars and they were able to pocket that money into whatever they were doing. So but with this, then I replied to this person. I said that I think people, well, I was supposed to say people, but I just said I think are projecting their core belief onto the incidents. So what I mean by this, I think people are projecting their core belief into this whole situation. Whereas if life is all about how you actually perceive it, right? And if, let's say, okay, for instance, if you think that all men ain't shit, then therefore you're gonna treat every man like he ain't shit. And even if you have like a good person around you, then you're still gonna treat that person that way, that he ain't shit, right? So then think of people then who have like a core belief about one group of people, right? So because of that core belief, then they're gonna perceive everyone that belong within that group of people into that into the perspective that they have of them, right? So for instance, if let's say your perspective is, all black people are, let's say, thugs. I mean, not thugs, right? That's too caricatural, right? I'm not trying to make it from a caricature perspective, but like you have like some sort of perspective about you or some preconceived notion about, let's say, black people, right? Black people are violent, right? So, or black people like to escalate things, right? Black people like to fight. Black people are more aggressive. Like it could be so many different aspects of your view of these people. Some can be more extreme, some can be less extreme, right? So it's like we hear the stereotypes all the time. Then you can also have stereotype about white people as well, right? You could say things like, okay, so you could go to the extreme of black or white people are racist, right? And then you could start going down to, black people, white people, they love to discriminate against black people, right? Or against people of color. Or it could goes down the ladder, right? Or white people don't like, these, minorities, right? And then you go to white people, they like to keep to themselves. They don't like being around black people, right? Or white people are scared of black people, blah, 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 right? So you have all these exchanges of what one particular group of people may think of the other group of particular people. So then the stereotype and the division is there, right? It's always been there in every race. But then now, think of it as you have a third party that continue to add fuel onto this stereotype, right? So we are what we consume. If, let's say, you are consuming things that actually, play with your biases, right? So then therefore, you're gonna continue to feel that way. And like, okay, let's say you have news media that tells you that, okay, everything that happened is due through, let's say, a prism of race, right? So these are the material that you consume. So whatever you are projecting onto this incident is gonna be that way. You're gonna look at it from a racial perspective. And it could have easily been, let's say, two stupid ass kids, right? One of them, I believe, let's say the white kid was a Karen, right? And then he show up to this guy, be like, hey, listen, bro, you can't be here. This is our tent. You gotta get out of here, right? So he might have spoke to the black kid. He might have spoken to Karmelo in a, aggressive manner. Or like what a Karen would do when you're like, where, excuse me, are you from this neighborhood? Blah, 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 right? We all like sometimes to, slap the shit out of a Karen, right? Because they're annoying as fuck. But, is it that enough to escalate this into stabbing somebody, right? Because my perspective is this, right? A lot of times when you are in a conflict, right? When you escalate things where you can't go back, right? A lot of these times, these things happen so fast, then afterward, you're now thinking about like, holy shit, what the hell did I just do? Right? Which is why as a kid, right? Or which is why as a young adult, a young person, you have to learn self-control, right? You have to learn self-control. And a lot of these things, you have your egos at play, because then, if you're under that perspective, this kid, approach you telling you to get the hell out of there is coming from a place of racism, then automatically you're not seeking to de-escalate the situation, because now it plays on your pride. Like, who the fuck this white boy think he is? Trying to tell me to move out of here? Nigga, man, fuck you. Right? You can have that aggressive stance right away, because you're like, yo, how dare this white boy telling me what to do? Nigga, my own mama don't tell me what to do. Right? The hell is wrong with you? Right? So then now, imagine, because as a young kid, ego and all that shit plays a part. And then now, this white boy try to tell you to move out of there. Right? It's like, I'm looking at it from this young kid's perspective, right? But let's say, look at it from the white kid perspective, right? It's like, yo, this is where we have our football practice shit. What the hell this guy doing here? Nigga, you, like, I don't know you. What the hell you doing here? Right? So then, also coming from a place of ego, he's looking at it like, yo, maybe he thought like, what the hell is black kid doing here? Right? Maybe he thought that way. I don't know. But maybe he didn't. Maybe he didn't. Maybe he might just look at it, what the hell this kid doing here? What the hell this motherfucker doing here? Like, bro, what the hell you doing in our spot, man? Let's say he could be like a valley boy. Like, yo, bro, what the hell you doing? Nah, that's not, maybe that's not it. But still, there's a level of confrontation that takes place in that situation. You come to a place that you don't belong, you need to go. Right? Is that possible? That, someone come to, let's say, to your spot uninvited, right? And then you don't feel like somebody's invading your property, right? Somebody invading your space. I mean, let's be real here. We do it all the time. Like, let's say that's why you guys talk about shit like, okay, black YouTube or white YouTube, or like, people carve out their little space, right? They carve out their little space, and then even though let's say you might be at a public place, right? Let's say a park or something like that, right? And then you go you decide to throw barbecue at the park. And then you have your little tent, not your little tent, like, because you do have like sometimes these like little segment where you have benches, you sit down and all that stuff, right? And then you just you throwing the grill and everything like that. You're giving out barbecue, giving out food to your little circle of people that you invited there, right? So then if someone else come through, let's say some white boys come through, right? Or some white people come through. And then they didn't come across as in like, like kind of friendly. They come across as in like, they're just here to eat your food, right? Or they're just here because like they're not even part of the barbecue, right? They just invite themselves and they just sit down, right? Because that's where they wanted to be for whatever reason, right? So then now there's two ways that can go. You can start a conversation with these people if you are a mature adult, right? Be like, hey, what are you guys doing here? You guys are here for some food, or I mean, you could even point out the fact that like it's kind of rude for you to just come into my space with my circle of people and then without even introducing yourself or actually extending a path to be like, hey, do you guys mind if I just stay around here real quick, right? Because I think there's two ways you could have approached it. I'm gonna show you how you could have easily. This situation probably could have been de-escalated real quick, right? So let's say Karmelo Antony come through, be like, yo, it is raining like a motherfucker. Guys, quick question. Y'all don't mind if I stick around here real quick? Right? And then, so that's that way you come in a situation where you're not trying to confront nobody, right? They still could have tell you no. They still could have be like, yeah, man, but this is like our stuff and everything like that, right? And this is like our little space. We can't do, we don't want to do that. That would be rude, right? That would be someone looking at it from a perspective of like, yo, I don't care, this is our shit, right? Maybe that's what happened, but maybe not. So none of us was there to see how it really all started, or was there any type of conversation that takes place. We are speculating here, right? And based on that speculation, we just look at things from a prism of race, right? Or it could have been a prism of, if let's say you are against Karmelo Antony, from a prism of, well, yeah, it's still racial prism, based on our biases, based on how we actually see that group of people, right? And to me, because I don't think everything that happened in the world has to do with racism, then my perspective is not based on racism. It's based on ignorance. It's based on lack of communication. It's based on ego. It's based on two kids who did not know how to de-escalate shit, and then one took it too far, right? And maybe that's it. Maybe it's not that complicated, right? But based on how we see the world is how we actually act upon the world. So then therefore you see your grave injustice, right? And you try to protect Karmelo Antony. You're like, well, you know what? I'm gonna donate to that cause because I believe these crackers need to stop pushing us around. So then you donating to based on what you believe what this case is all about. Hey, that's your money. Do what you gotta do. But yeah, so let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. You know who it is. I'm your host, The Haitian. So share, like, comment, and subscribe. I'm out of here. Peace.